America, Asia, Europe, and that ruler you left in your desk over last summer. That's right, it's top 10 scandalous rulers in history. Number 10, Richard Nixon. I am not a crook. Yes. Famous words from the man who might have possibly been a crook. Okay, he was. Richard Nixon, the 37th President of the United States of America. A time in America when a lot of history was unfolding. Seriously, crazy times. Speaking of unfolded, just like the documents regarding the Watergate scandal, after successfully ending the American involvement in the Vietnam War, shortly after escalating it, Nixon found himself in some hot water. Break-ins at the Democratic Committee were not a presidential look. Naturally, he denied all claims of his involvement, and folks believed him. How could they not? He's the president. Not too long after, some tapes would reveal his wrongdoings, and shortly after that, he became the only president to resign office. Number 9, Jimmy Hoffa. James Riddle Hoffa. If you haven't seen the movie The Irishman, go see it. Seriously, fantastic movie. Like in the movie, most people my age and younger have no idea what a Teamster is or who the heck Jimmy Hoffa was. In a nutshell, he was president of the Teamster Union, which basically is just a union for truck drivers and transportation. And at the time, Mr. Jimmy Hoffa had a lot of mafia connections. Jimmy Hoffa would loan money out to anyone considered to be a wise guy so they could develop the very mob-controlled Las Vegas. With interest, of course. You never loan without interest. Scam of the century, really. Of course, Jimmy denied all claims even after serving time in the slammer for fraud. If that didn't make him look guilty, then mysteriously disappearing after 1975 sure did. Nobody knows exactly what happened to poor Jimmy, but one thing is for sure. He didn't just go for a walk and never come back. You know what I'm saying? Number 8, Roosevelt. Younger folks might not know this name, but this is the only US president to serve more than 2 terms. 4 terms, actually. Double trouble. A tradition put in place by George Washington when he declined his 3rd term. Well, in 1940, this wasn't a law or written in the Constitution, more of just something that noble men honoring a tradition. Roosevelt ran for re-election and won, giving his good work on recovering from the Great Depression. Surely another global war would look good underneath him, right? Sure. Oh, and they may have hid how sick he really was from polio. Yeah, the president had polio. Because you can't have a leader who looks weak, even though I'd argue if he did that whilst having polio, that would make him look stronger than the average president, but yeah, what do I know, we'll go with that. He got elected again to see out World War II, however, he would pass away before he saw its end. And polio, man, that's a bad one, dude. That one cripples you up. That's not a good one, brother. That's a bad one. Ooh. Number 7, Mrs. Meanie. Okay, this one's for me, alright? Or for all the people that had one teacher like this, that used to drive you insane. Naturally, I ain't gonna name names, just because I ain't, but we'll call her Mrs. Meanie. Mrs. Meanie, for some reason, had it out for me back in school more than any other teacher that I knew. Yes, I was loud. I was the class clown. Strangely enough, I was voted for that in the yearbook. Is anyone surprised though? No, not really. But this class, I was good. I swear I was. She constantly challenged me and would start arguments in the middle of class in front of all my friends. I didn't want to fight. I just wanted to get the day over with. What's scandalous, you may ask, about all this? Well, after talking to a few of my favorite teachers, they all said that Mrs. Meanie was kind of mean to them too. See? I wasn't wrong. They never said anything as heinous about her as us kids did, but my point stands. In a PG-13 rating, let me know if you guys had any teachers that you couldn't stand or just had it out for you in the comments below. I'm curious, I want to know. No more mean teachers. Number 6, Ray Kroc. The man, the myth, the legend. Every time it's 3 a.m. and you've been hitting the sauce the same way Conor McGregor hits a punching bag, you dig into some golden crisp fries, savory fresh nuggets, and a belly-warming burger to coat your tequila-lined stomach. Am I right? You can thank Ray Kroc for that. Who is that, you ask? Well, he's the founder of the McDonald's Corporation. Notice how I said the founder, not the creator or the owner. That's because while Ray Kroc was the CEO of the McDonald's Corporation, he was not its original owner, and in a very hush-hush scandal, stole the company from underneath the original owners, the McDonald's brothers. Another great movie, The Founder, which again I'm going to recommend, it's a really good movie. It explains a lot. It almost makes me feel kind of guilty to eat a delicious 2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Or maybe not. Number 5, Jordan Belfort. Steve Madden! Steve Madden! Oh, to be Jonah Hill struggling to make motor functions after throwing back too much donut sugar. You know what I mean? Maybe one day I'll get to be in a Scorsese movie. Call me, baby. I work cheap. Come on. Despite my dreams of being an A-list movie star, the story behind that movie is what we're talking about, or rather the man in front of it all, Jordan Belfort. The Wolf of Wall Street, or rather just how I imagine every Wall Street guy is in a nutshell. Jordan Belfort was the leader of his own stockbroking company who during the 90s would amass incalculable wealth due to many financial and stockbroking scams and schemes. This would fund a lifestyle that would make Ozzy Osbourne blush. Booze, substances that teachers would warn about you in school, and enough parties that would raise the fertility rates in whatever area they so happen to be in. Number 4, parents. Tonight will be the night that I fall for you over again. Remember being 13? I know. Some of you are lucky that Facebook wasn't around when you were 13 because my generation now has archives of all the cringe things we used to post. Seriously, go back and look. It'll surprise you. That includes cringy song lyrics. However, when I think of rulers who are scandalous, sometimes I think of home. Not my home, but people in general. Now that we're all adults and we can all agree that our parents were right most of the time, but there's still a few times that they were wrong, weren't they? Yeah, 100% wrong. I'm not upset. Who's upset, dude? Dude, don't touch me. I'm fine, bro. I'm not upset. Mom, leave me alone. God. Number 3, Napoleon Bonaparte, the Corsican ogre. Napoleon's story is one of giving an inch and taking a mile, but sometimes the world runs out of miles to give everyone, and then things get a little chaotic, and that's just, you don't want that. Napoleon was given opportunities and he took them, which is something we should all do. When you get an opportunity, you should seize it. Carpe diem, right? What we shouldn't do, however, is invade Europe multiple times, and once we get the leg up, declare ourselves the first consul of France, defeating the whole point of the previous revolution. It's kind of crazy, actually. Limiting the rights of his people and in general causing a lot of issues for everyone. Other European powers were afraid that he might kick their butt, which was very likely. He was a pretty good military leader. Or even worse, give their people the idea of revolution. That's scary. However, after a cold winter in Russia and a bad trip to Waterloo, not Ontario, he was banished to an island where he wouldn't be able to bother anyone anymore. Au revoir, mon chéri. Number 2, Joseph Stalin. Dude's down bad, maybe worse than a number 1 spot. The General Secretariat was not the original name for the leader of the USSR, but when Joseph Stalin was in the position, well, he was quite literally the only one left standing. After all, his comrades and opponents took a nice vacation to a gulag. The title and name kinda had to change. A very bad man who had the mustache of Mario but the heart of Al Capone. Not so nice. Helped the Allies in World War II but kinda wasn't liberating as much as we were, as they were so much replacing the Germans as occupiers. Not very good. A man who had no love for his son, who was captured as a POW and kinda just let him not come back home. He was unalived. A man who probably still haunts Eastern Europe today. Thank goodness we moved past Soviet aggression, right? Number 1, Moustache Man. Does he need an introduction? Another bad dude. Another bad mustache. Germany rose from the ashes of World War I to be a powerful nation. Just, you know, they did a lot of horrible, awful things to get there. And then Moustache Man plunged the whole world into the worst conflict the planet has ever seen, and a lot of people were unalived. On paper, and to the German people, he was just the bee's knees, but he had enough scandal to write books about. Of course, in that style of government, you can't write books about him that way, or else you'd end up somewhere rotten. It wouldn't be very good for your health, bro. It wouldn't be good. I talked to the chief, who's a general. He looked at the battle plans and said, that's not it. Okay, now time for some comments. I love reading comments, this is so much fun. Erica Russell said, when it comes to boxed wine or canned wine, I will always prefer whiskey and tequila any day. That's from our other video when I asked about what do you guys like to drink. Yes, okay, that's fine. Okay, I can understand that. I am actually a tequila guy myself. I love a good tequila. I think most people don't like it, but I like it. I like the warm too. I like having a few drinky winkies, so I love that. Jenna Cordell said, no thanks to wine in a can. Just give me my shot of Jack. Love when you're hosting. Thanks for another great video. Thanks for such a great comment, Jenna. I love that. Thank you. Wow, that's so nice. You guys are really great. I love the nice comments, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. Thanks so much. You should check out my socials. That's crazy. I'm a crazy guy. And then lastly, we have Wes Gunton said, I love that name. The Fonz is nearing 80 in 77, no longer cool. I'm assuming you mean he's 77, he's almost 80, no longer cool. I don't know about that though, man. I get, you know, getting old is not fun, but just because you're heading your 80s, doesn't mean you can't be cool. If the Fonz still saw a jukebox, you'd probably kick it, it'd probably still work. You don't know. You never know. That was cool. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up for me today, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe here at Bumblebee. And if you too want to be cool, then check out my socials down below. I've been your host, Big Ched, and stay sweet, my little honeybees. Tonight is gonna be the night that I fall for you.